Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Trade Talk. I am your host, Niko, and this is another episode of the late tapes. Yes, this is me cleaning up my backlog of books that I have continued to read over the past month and a half, of course, but failed to actually record any of this content and put it out there. I kind of drop the ball a little bit in that regard. So if this is the first episode you're tuning into, definitely look in the feed or in the playlist or on the SoundCloud page there with all the other Trade Talk episodes. There'll be like 6 or 7 of these late tape episodes that'll be posted throughout the next week or two for you guys there, and until I kind of get back on track for what would have been my weekly output for you guys, and then hopefully we'll continue on from there again. All right, so without further ado, let's get into it here. I got 3 different trades I want to talk to you guys about today. All Marvel, actually. First up, we got Winter Soldier, Second Chances. This is by Kyle Higgins and art by Rod Rice, who I'm a big fan of. I really love his art. And I've read some good things by Kyle Higgins as well. Kyle Higgins, of course, has teamed up with Rod Rice for a couple of creator-owned projects prior to doing this one over at Marvel. He did a couple things through Image. Cowl is one of them, and he did another book. It's this one where they are in space. I cannot, for the life of me, remember the name of that book right now. I'm just trying to look at my shelves to see if I can spot it. It's essentially a murder mystery in space, a book that they did. I'll probably just look it up here while we're talking so I can give them, because that's a really good one as well. And I would want to mention that for anybody who is fans of theirs or may end up being one after this. But Winter Soldier Second Chances was a mini-series that they did through Marvel Comics, of course, and I really ended up digging this. Hadrian's Wall. Yeah, there you go. That's the name of it. So yeah, they did Cowl through Image Comics and Hadrian's Wall, which again is like a murder mystery in space, which was also really good. And of course, Rod Rice has been, most notably recently, has been doing some of the New Mutants issues with Jonathan Hickman and their X-Men relaunch. He, of course, has a style that's very reminiscent of Bill Sienkiewicz's style. I mean, it's kind of hard not to kind of see the influence that went into his artwork from Bill Sienkiewicz. But he's not. He's a great artist in his own right. So, but yeah, it definitely looks like probably closest to that. This was a great little miniseries. I really enjoyed this. I thought that it's basically about essentially like Bucky taking on his own Bucky almost. Like there's a kid that ends up meeting him at the start of this mini-series that was out to kill him, track him down and kill him. Someone else had he was taken in as a child and essentially brainwashed to be like this killing machine, similar to almost like Winter Soldier was, like as like a sleeper cell kind of guy. So firsthand, he meets this kid and he relates to him very much, and he tries to show him a better way, like tries to take him under his wing and like show him, like we can help people. Like, and right now at this point in time, Winter Soldier is working as somebody who goes in and finds people and relocates them and tries to set up new lives for them. Like people that have fucked up in their current lives may work for bad guys or organizations that are looking for a way out. And again, knowing firsthand that it's hard, especially after doing some of the things that he has done, even though he didn't mean to, because he was like a sleeper cell agent and stuff in his past, and the trouble that he's had to kind of move on with his life, he is making it a point to actually go out there and help other people. And I mean, there's even discussion of that when he actually does meet one of the people that's trying to better himself, like, and he relocates him. He even, brings that up to Winter Soldier. Essentially, like, it's brought up in this that he's just running away from his past as well by continuing to do this. And has he really ever actually dealt with any of this shit? And does it actually ever get better? Because if you don't believe it and you're just doing this, you know what I mean? What gives you the right to go and try to help other people and lie to them in their face, and that whole kind of spiel, right? So, but in doing so, like, there's this cool like relationship that these two basically form, and as you know, you find out who the guy is that made this kid a killing machine. He kind of makes himself known in this, and you know, it gets in between the whole, and this kid ends up meeting his long lost father as time goes on. So then, like, it puts a wedge in between Winter Soldier and him, that we're having this like father son kind of relationship almost, or at least he was someone to look up to. The kid even dresses like Bucky when he shows up to kill him, like he's dressed up as him, and he said, "Hey, I'm a big fan, by the way," and he's like trying to kill him at the start when he meets him like this. Anyways, I don't want to give away the ending, but it's a pretty satisfying like 5-issue miniseries. You know, the pacing was well done, the art was great. If you're a fan of the Winter Soldier, definitely check this out. And it kind of left it up in the air where you could maybe see a return to these characters or this kind of setting, or another miniseries by the same team somewhere down the line. I gotta say, I really enjoyed it. Nice little quick read, and you know, the trade is just like your regular like $16 kind of US retail trade of like a little 5-issue mini through Marvel Comics trade paperback. So definitely check it out. It was a good, enjoyable, fun, quick read. Next up, we got Invisible Woman, Partners in Crime. It's written by Mark Waid, art by, I don't know how to say this person's name, Mattia De Lulli. This is the same artist, I think, that did the Jessica Jones, Kelly Thompson digital first comic that was collected in trade, and now I believe it's coming out in single issues, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, dug the art. Definitely this artist can kind of draw like beautiful looking women. Like, I wouldn't call it cheesecakey. Like, I mean, he definitely could do those kind of covers like the Adam Hughes kind of type stuff, but definitely doesn't rely on that. And I wouldn't even say for Sue Storm being this that this was very over sexualized at all. He just draws good looking women, and it's very clean lined, and kind of, it's probably definitely digital. It's almost to the point where it's like an artist where you'd almost say it's like something like photoreference-y, and I don't really dig that kind of art, but it just kind of skirts that line where he's able to pull it off, and it makes it look kind of realistic as well as good on the page, like just a nice clean art style. So and yeah, Mark Waid is writing an Invisible Woman miniseries. I mean, he's got a lot of experience writing the Fantastic Four. He has a great run that he wrote in the past, and this was interesting. This was basically Sue working for doing like espionage missions for S.H.I.E.L.D. Like, I guess she was a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent at some point, or she's helped them in the past. So in this book, they basically, they come to ask for her aid again in something, because someone, I guess, specifically had asked for her that she used to work with some time ago, and she kind of says, hey, to the family, hey, listen, I got to take care of something. And then she goes off on these missions. So it's kind of like James Bondish, but with a woman, and it was action-packed. There was that kind of espionage, like international intrigue stuff going on in this. And it was fun. If you're a fan of Fantastic Four, especially, obviously, because focuses on Sue Storm, it was nice to see her kind of get her own little mini-series. This collected the first, 5 issues. It's just like a little mini-series. And have her in a different type of setting other than superheroing. But, of course, Mark Waid does a great job of incorporating her unique power set into her missions on this as well. And because she's super powerful, like, she's definitely the most powerful person on Fantastic Four because of all the things that she can do with the invisibility, like with the shields and just like he comes up with some very inventive ways to show off her powers in this. Like, she can basically put somebody in a bubble and suffocate them if she really wanted to, right? That's why I'm saying she's definitely the deadliest on the Fantastic Four. I mean, of course, the Thing is crazy strong, and Human Torch is made of fucking fire. I mean, they could all be deadly in some sense, but you don't want to fuck with Sue Storm. So, and this trade proves it. I think he did a great job, Mark Waid. He it's a great main female character led book, and I definitely would suggest checking it out. Invisible Woman, not what you would expect from an Invisible Woman series, as far as I'm concerned. Nothing really to do with the Fantastic Four, although they're brought up obviously in this at some points. All right, and then last off, we got Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man Vol.2 by Tom Taylor. There's a couple different artists on this volume. Ken Lashley drew issues 7 to 10 and 13 to 14. Juan Cabal drew issues 9 to 11. Scott Hanna on issue 10. And a bunch of inkers. Actually, sorry, no, those are more artists. Yeah, I guess there was one where like it was like a lot of different artists contributed to it. I'll go on, I guess. Luca Maresca did a few pages. Perry Perez, Todd Knock, I.G. Guerra, Dyke Gruan, and Marguerite Sauvage. I guess, yeah, she did a flashback sequence. So, yeah, I think there was an issue or two where there's a different contributors. It's different scenes that they kind of just like did like a jam issue. This collected issues 7 to 14. I don't know if this series is done now or not. It may be. It just seems like an odd numbering for a trade too to add that many issues in it. It's a thicker than usual trade, and for that reason, it's $17.99. That's not too bad. It's not like going into the $20 range, but yeah, and this, again, I talked about the first volume on this show too. This continues to be great. I think Tom Taylor has a real knack for understanding characters, getting to the core of why people like them. Great dialogue. I will say though, the art, because there were so many artists on this, was kind of inconsistent throughout. Sometimes you had good artists, sometimes less than good. I gotta say, Ken Lashley, I like his stuff. His art's fine, but I've never been like the hugest fan. But he looked actually very good in this. I gotta say, he put for whatever reason, I thought he looked better than usual in this, and he's one artist's work I know that I think did majority of this trade, I would say. So I don't know if it's a combination of inkers maybe that had inked him on this. There was a couple of inkers here. You know what? It looks like he inked himself, and that might be why. I don't know. It looked good. I think, yeah, it looked better than usual for whatever reason. Not to say he's a bad artist, but yeah. Yeah, and basically what had happened in this is, like, it continues with the whole thing about Aunt May opening up that feast center to help out, homeless people in New York City. It was actually even a plot line that was in the game as well, if you played the Spider-Man game for PS4. So they continued with that storyline a bit and how that's kind of fleshing out, and the Prowler's in it, and he kind of gets into more like street level kind of like mysteries type cases in this, and it talks about the underground people as well in this from the last one. Somebody from the Fantastic Four shows up, Mary Jane. It's just a again, and not every problem. Like, yeah, I think it's the thing that shows up in this. Yeah, it's not like intergalactic problems. It's not like huge scale, like fucking Marvel event issues that he has in this. It's just a lot of street level based, day-to-day type stuff that happens in Peter's life, as well as just like him swinging around that he deals with in this book. And I think like what they set out to do by calling this series this the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, like smaller kind of stake stuff for him to do, along with the knack of Tom Taylor's, like I said, writing and dialogue and character, and just like and how fun Spidey of a character Spidey can be, right? It just lends itself to this title, and I think this was a successful title that ran alongside things like Amazing and stuff. Like, you could totally have read more than one Spider-Man book and got kind of two different flavors from each one. So I gotta say, I'm really big fan of this book. I hope it's not finished. I don't know for sure whether it is or not, but if it is, you got two good trades out there, and I definitely suggest, if you're a Spider-Man fan, that you guys check this out. Don't let it kind of slip by. I know they put out like 1,000 different Spider-Man titles. I don't read them all. I usually just read Amazing, depending what's going on with that book at the time. And I here and there I'll check out another one, and this is definitely one of those ones where I think it's definitely deserving of being another ongoing Spider-Man title alongside things like Amazing. Okay, so that'll be it for today, guys. I'll see you guys next time. Wow, I pretty much flew through those three, it looks like. But like I said, I got many more episodes coming in the backlog of books to get through, so I kind of had to space them out to about 3 or 4 books per episode. But all three of these were great. I gotta say, I can't say enough good things about any of them. They're all kind of very different writers, diverse kind of characters, and and nice quick little trades, like 5-6 issues. Well, like I said, the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man was like several issues in that one. It's a little thicker than normal, but these trades, they read nicely. I mean, sometimes I talk about bigger collected books on here, but you can pick up one of these and get through it in an hour or two in an afternoon if you have it, right? So it's a nice way of visiting the Marvel Universe. All right, guys, we'll see you guys next time. Thanks.